It's Mik'd up with Mikie Mahtook. Got the boys in. I got Lloyd. We got J Mitch. We got Jackie Boy.
He tried to jump up, and he might have knocked it in.
Good timing. Let's go. What a start to the Monday. I mean, I'm from Lafayette. My boys will come in and say,
oh, God. So me and Joe on the ground. I got Joe in the headlock. And he's sitting there. He's punching me in the stomach, like, punching me.
Here, is everyone sitting around? Who here thinks Ochinko can practice today after having 5 full beers? And he goes, Chad Jones, right? Chad Jones. 6 minutes. For 7 minutes, right? Chad's like, no, man, I don't think Ochinko can practice today. And I was like, I look back and I'm like, Jesus Christ. I saw you there. You were more fucked up than me.
The spirit plane had some issues, I think. She was sleep farting.
You heard her or you just thought it was her?
I sat right next to her. I smelled it.
Whoa. What was that?
Time to finish the show.
Now, when you do go to spring training, are you gonna bring your chinchilla and your turtle? My dad tell you about it.
The SEC is God, they hate fat people. I mean, I get crushed for that. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man.
Hey, just the South, bro. You got a bunch of food down here. Like they should.
Players, look at Lloyd.
You know what, Lloyd?
You're looking for a recruiting coordinator, coach. I'm here.
He's like, I'll piss my pants right now.
No way.
We're wearing gray pants, long gray pants. He goes, I'll piss my pants right now.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Mik'd Up. Today is Wednesday, August 30th. We are 4 days away from LSU Florida State. Week 1 of college football starts tomorrow. Week 0 is over with. Week 0 is week 0 for a reason. It's some tune-up games. It is, hey, let's get our feet wet with college football. Let's let the college game day crew have a dress rehearsal. Week 1 is when it really starts. A lot of big games over the weekend. Obviously, LSU Florida State highlights the biggest game of week 1. But Thursday, tomorrow, is a big day as well. Florida goes to Utah to play, which I would probably deem that as the second biggest game of week 1. Quarterback for Utah, Cam Rising, is not playing. He is out for that game. Florida, obviously, Billy Napier has come out and said that he is happy with Florida's transfers and recruiting class, and so he gets to go to Utah with playing against a ranked opponent without their top quarterback. He can maybe steal a win there and get off to a good start there in Florida. You have UNC South Carolina is Saturday night, and you also have Clemson Duke on Monday night. So you have some matchups that are intriguing. College football is here, well underway, very exciting. We're looking forward to it. We mentioned, obviously, LSU Florida State 4 days away. One of our friends, former major leaguer, almost rookie of the year, really good dude from Florida State, Devin Travis, is coming on the show to talk Florida State. Now, you say, oh, Travis, that sounds familiar. Well, Devin Travis is the older brother of Jordan Travis, who, if you haven't been paying attention or living under a rock or really don't know anything about football, Jordan Travis is the starting quarterback for Florida State Seminoles. Obviously, we saw his athleticism last year, kind of same grouping of as Jaden Daniels as far as a very athletic runner. Let's see him develop more as a passer. We're going to talk to him about Jordan's development, what Florida State is looking, kind of give you a different perspective on this game. We're excited. He's coming on the show at 6:15. NFL news: Joe Burrow back at practice. It's a good sign for the whole NFL. A good sign for us. We enjoy. A good sign for your futures. I'm sure you have some futures on him, Lloyd.
Absolutely.
So that's exciting. He's back at practice. I think people were starting to wonder if he was actually going to play. I don't think that was ever a question. He is back. John Emery is not back. John Emery is out again.
John Emery doing John Emery things.
Saga continues.
It is unbelievable, dude.
It's crazy.
I mean, I don't know what's happening.
Never seen anything like it.
He's not there. Listen, they have one more
internship
week.
must have been hard.
Dude, I don't know what the deal is, dude. And I don't know. I haven't even asked.
He's going to love the NFL.
I don't think he's going to be in the NFL.
I think he'd go get a shot. There's school. We don't have to worry about school.
Maybe get a
He ain't
shot.
come here to
But,
play
listen,
school.
If you can't focus on going to school or doing that stuff, like how are you going to focus on life and football?
He's so
Like
locked
life's a
into-
lot busier than school.
He's so locked into playing.
I would
Yeah.
just love to know what the scouting report is on him. Not
Hey,
like
listen,
as a player.
I don't know the details of what's happening behind the scenes. So
I don't
maybe
either.
there's-
That's why I said I would love to know
Yeah.
what that report
He doesn't
is.
know.
I don't know. Staying on the LSU theme, John Trey Kirkland, who the Saints signed back to the practice squad. He looks pretty good in preseason with New Orleans. There may be a role for him on special teams, obviously. Keyshawn Booty made the 53-man roster. Now, over the next week, it's going to be a fluctuating roster, right? You don't know. There's going to be a lot of moves. There's going to be people getting released, maybe some veteran guys that released that weren't available and then become available, and some guys that have made the roster now leave. So it's very nerve-wracking. Former Cornhusker, Arik Gilbert, got himself into a situation. If you watch the video, it's not good. Hopefully he gets
The help that he needs.
Right? I don't know what's happening, but Arik Gilbert breaks into a home and steals some things. Didn't seem like he stole a whole bunch of stuff, but he stole some stuff.
$1,600.
$1,600 worth of
That's
things.
enough.
So it's enough.
It's a smoke shop. That's it.
Yeah, right? Like, steals it. It wasn't like he stole a bunch of, like, jewelry, but he breaks the... He must have been in there for a ton. He must have been in there for a long time, because when he walked out, there was about 15 police officers just waiting for him. Like, waiting. So, I don't know what the deal is, but hopefully he gets the help that he needs. But right now it's not about Arik Gilbert. Right now it's about LSU. Right now it's about LSU, Florida State. College football, NFL football is almost a week away, 8 days away. Yeah. Next Thursday is the first game of the season. Sports talk around the country, even world.
Soccer,
Seems
maybe.
to be heating up. Messi looks great here. He's been a talk around not only the United States of America, but everywhere else.
I've heard his name a little bit in here today.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing it, dude. He got one of our friends who doesn't watch soccer to buy the MLS package just to watch him. So
Vegas loves him
our
right
buddy
now,
is
too.
giving him some money and putting money in his pocket because he signed that revenue sharing deal with Apple.
Vegas loves him right now, too.
Vegas loves
him. A lot of money flowing on Messi right now.
Miami loves him.
Isn't it over?
What's that?
He's done with MLS play, right? Did he just win the cup?
I think that was a regular season thing, I think.
I just know he's going back to play international soccer here in a second. I think it's over.
I don't think it's over because I think that they said he's playing next game.
Yeah.
He's starting the next
Keep it going.
The next match.
Tonight?
I don't know what it is. Now you're asking, now you're getting too deep in there. I don't know. But did you send Devin the link?
I did.
Okay, great. So when he gets in there, you let me know. He is coming in on 6:15, coming on the show at 6:15. We are excited. He is a great dude. I mean, obviously he's had a ton of success in the big leagues. Injuries kind of derailed his career a little bit. Probably could have been there a lot longer, but banged up knee, some shoulder stuff.
He
definitely would have.
Yes. A lot longer, yeah.
But he's a great dude. Now he is working with the Braves as a roving coach around the minor leagues.
Yeah.
He's also an ESPN personality. So he's comfortable in front of the mic, great personality. Looking forward to having him on here, and he's going to give us some insight on the Florida State side. One of the best players on Florida State, which you may not get very often. You may not get this type of insight, but we're looking forward to having him on the show. I'm so fired up about Sunday. Like, hype videos, which shout out to Jack Ballard, our social media guy, because, created a banger of a video. Shout out to Chad Jones. I texted Chad today. I said, hey, you sounded buttery on the thing. He goes, I didn't know how to do it, Coach, but I just did it. I was like, you sounded great.
Game time only. That's all we needed.
He goes,
One take Timmy.
He said he did great. He did well. Did very well. Very happy that he did that. But seeing these videos and seeing highlights and, the countdowns, waiting for the season, like, it just gets you fired up and excited, especially because LSU is a primetime, only game of the day on Sunday. You have all weekend, all day to prepare for it, to get lubed up for it, to, do whatever. Focus all your attention on that. So we're pumped. I'm going to be able to watch it. I'm not going to be there, unfortunately, but I'll be watching it from my TV with
Won't you still be in the same state, though?
I will be in the same state, just a little far away.
Just a little farther away.
Yeah. But
and prayers and thoughts to all those people in Florida right now.
Thoughts and prayers to all the people. Is it Idalia? Mm-hmm. Is that the name of it? They really just...
It's not ideal.
I mean, it's not ideal or Ida. So they've already had Ida, which was 2 years ago. Now they just want to make it Idalia. I guess that falls in the list of, like, named storms. I guess we haven't had a named storm since...
Hillary.
No, Ida. 2 years ago was the hurricane, the big hurricane, Ida.
The one in California? Hillary?
Yeah, but is that so...
Then they go alphabetically down the list. H, now we're at I. And so Idalia
But Ida was already used 2 years ago. So
right,
all the way through the alphabet?
Yeah, that's how they do it. They go categorically every time there's a hurricane. So
I know, but Ida, alphabet A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I.
So we go to the next I for this year.
I understand. Oh, so for the year. It's not Ida.
Yeah,
like, hey, Ida was 2 years ago, and now we got to get to... Like, did they have to go through Z and come back? You see what I'm saying?
I don't know. That
Because
I don't know.
H goes backwards.
Yeah.
Or the hurricanes in the Pacific different hurricanes in the Atlantic? I
don't know if they reset.
Okay.
But I do know that.
I don't know
little fun fact that it goes down the list.
Well, I knew that.
Yeah.
I just didn't know
how it got back around so fast on the snake.
I mean, maybe there's a lot of name storms we just haven't heard of. Jared looks confused at you.
I took meteorology, or no.
That's the one you should. That's the career you should have done. You can be wrong
all the time.
It doesn't matter.
Well, that's the same kind of. Same deal here. I could be wrong all the time. Nobody really cares. But I like that they watch.
I'd like to not be wrong.
Well, didn't you say that Florida quarterbacks was out? It's Utah.
No, I said
okay.
Utah
I was
quarterback was
running
out.
back around. I was hoping that we didn't get there.
No, Utah.
Cam Rising is
Cam
out.
Rising is
ACL.
out. Florida is going there.
Oh, he's got the ACL?
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
Yeah.
He's a good player, man.
That happened
Good
in the
player.
Rose Bowl.
Yeah, so he's recovering from the ACL.
That's tough.
And he's a runner. Hell, that definitely hurts.
Yeah,
but
100%.
All right, Dev
is
in
here.
there. Devin is in there. We're gonna take a 30-second break. You're watching Mik'd Up. We'll get to him.
He's got some Florida State swag on.
Of course he does.
already.
He's a Florida State guy. I know. We're gonna wear him out a little bit about it. All right, we're taking a 30-second break. We'll be right back. You're watching Mik'd Up. Government Street. Everybody knows about their world-famous steaks and their hot tamales, but what you may not know is that they're open for lunch every day from 11 to 2. Great people, great environment. Their lunch menu is fire. What's the best thing on the menu?
If you haven't tried it yet, you need to try the burger. Unbelievable, best burger in town.
Best burger in town. If you're looking for lunch, 11 to 2 at Dozy Place. Again, they're located on 3723 Government Street. Give them a shot. Welcome back to Mik'd Up. We are excited to be joined by our next guest, former big leaguer, current coach in the Atlanta Braves organization, and
big time homer.
Jordan Travis's biggest fan. There's a reason for that. Quick story before I put him on. So Devin Travis was playing. I was playing against him. I believe it was either 15 or 16. I believe it was probably 15. Nope, 16. I was playing right field, and he's a guy who could hit very well. He would shoot the gaps in right center.
Good bat to
down,
ball.
Yeah, great bat to ball, right down the right field line. So I'm up and over because I'm opposite, playing in, thinking I'm right there. He hits a low sinking liner down the right in Toronto, and I go make this super catch, and I miss it, and it goes to the wall on the turf, and I'm thinking, I just gave up. First inning, first batter, he led off. I'm thinking I just gave up an inside the park homer. I didn't, thankfully. He stopped at third base. So, but I'm excited now that we are not playing against each other, and we're all on different sides, but be able to talk. Dev, bro, I appreciate you coming on the show, man.
Yeah, Mikey, thanks for having me, man. This is awesome. Y'all got quite the setup, man. This is good stuff.
Yeah, look, Ronaldo has this beautiful place, Cards and Culture, and we just moved in here, and we got a lot of really big things happening. So we're very, very grateful that he gave us a space in his space to be able to do this. It's baseball players take care of baseball players, but right now we are a football show, and there's a big game that is happening this Sunday in Orlando, and it's against both of our teams. Mine's LSU, yours is Florida State. You have a lot more riding on this game than I do because you have blood playing in Jordan Travis. What is, you're a big brother, right? So you watch him grow up and you watch him go through some of these ups and downs, and college football is hard, dude. Like, it is very hard, especially as a young quarterback. And, he's had his bumps and bruises, but you can tell he's gotten better. What are some of the things that you've seen that he has improved on, whether it be the mental part of the game, physical part of the game, as he's progressed through his entire career at Florida State?
Yeah, it's been a heck of a ride, man. I can't help but, first go back to, to my days at Florida State, and I think about my brother and my little sister as well, who's also at Florida State. But I just think about the pride that they have and the dream that Jordan always had of putting on a Florida State uniform and running out of that tunnel and, not wanting to play baseball and wanting to go his own route and breaking my dad's heart by telling him so. And he starts his career off at Louisville. Coaching situation wasn't great. Petrino's got fired. Goes into the transfer portal. Ends up at Florida State. Dream come true, man. This is going to be awesome. Walked into a situation there where, unfortunately, things weren't great for him quite yet either. Here came Mike Norvell and Kenny Dillingham, now the head coach at Arizona State, and they believed in him. And I really think that you said it. The mental side is really where you I've seen the biggest growth in him, because very few kids in today's world have to actually earn everything they got, and that kid has been through so much and has had to put in so much work even when his own coaches did not believe in him, and he's earned everything he's gotten up to this point. So I'm just proud of my brother. Like you said, I'm a proud big brother. I'm obviously a huge Florida State fan. I love Florida State football. My heart beats like all heck on Saturdays, but I'm proud of my brother, man.
It's nice that look, for a couple of years there, we were both in a bad spot, right? Like Florida State, LSU were struggling, and now it's nice that they're both, going into last year, there's a lot of question marks, right? And now that they're both in the top 10. Before I really get into the game and get into I'm going to give you we're baseball players, but we love football, so we're going to give a little bit of analysis on this thing. Before I get into that, you talked about some of the adversity that he had to face. You obviously had to face some adversity through your career in baseball. Obviously, you got off to a really good start as a rookie, and your next year was really good. Then injuries kind of took over a little bit. Has your past experience, have you been able to use that to help him as far as him getting through some of that adversity and some of the moves that he's had to make over the last 4 years?
Yeah, definitely. I'm a big brother. We're almost 10 years apart, but I think I can confidently say he's my best friend. He's the best man at my wedding, and as you know, we're gone from home so much throughout our career, and it's hard to form relationships and keep those bonds strong with your siblings. And I'm just grateful that we connected and we became such great friends. And And I've always just tried to push him the right way. I don't know a ton about football. I just know that when I turn on the TV and I watch a game, I can tell you who has the ability to do something special and who can. And that's about where my fantasy football is, like my ceiling. Like, hey, he looks cool. I want that guy. But it's my career obviously ended tough. I stopped playing in 19. I never ran again. Still have never ran to this day. Stupid knees. I pray that God gives my brother better knees. And I just try to stay positive, man. It's sports. It's all the mind. And the talent that you're born with is one thing. The work that you put in, everybody works hard. Oh yeah, he works so hard. Yeah, whatever. Everybody does. But your mind is what separates you, especially when you get to the cream of the crop. So I'd say that's where I really came in the most.
Devin, man, you talk about being a big brother. You talk about the things that you've been able to go through in your life and a way that you've been able to kind of help him and kind of go through and navigate through some of his trials and tribulations, if you will, in his life. But let's be honest, man. At this point right now, the reemergence, if you will, of Florida State football, and your brother is unmistakably smack dab in the middle of it, that has to give you some sort of feel. Can you kind of express how that makes you feel, being able to watch him do what he's done and the opportunity to bring that school back to kind of what we saw it as growing up?
Yeah, well, I mean, first off, I want to tell you, Jared Mitchell, Chris Matulis is one of my best friends. I wanted to go to LSU, and you were my guy. So, hey, this guy plays football, baseball. This guy's awesome, first-round pick. So I followed you throughout your entire career, so I just wanted to give you a little salute. The Tigers are my number 2 team.
All right.
I root for the Tigers every game.
I love that.
I love that. That's dope.
But, it's super special stuff, man. I get the chills talking about it. I guess I'm getting emotional in my old age. When I think about my brother and the stage he's in right now, and we know baseball's cool and all, but college football is really the pinnacle of sports in America, especially down here in the South. As you guys know, it's everything. Yeah. So I think about the pressure that he has to face. I obviously, when he doesn't have the greatest of games, I feel bad for him because I know what Twitter looks like. And I'm just proud. I try to keep it level as I can. I can tell you that I have never been as nervous as I am at first kick.
Yeah.
Any baseball game I ever played in never compares. I am so nervous. I feel like I'm pale white. I can't talk. My mouth is dry. I'm probably drinking too many beers because I need something to settle me down. It's cool stuff, man. It's been a great ride. He's provided a lot of great memories for my family, and these are days that he's dreamt of, and he's actually able to live his dreams.
Man, last year's game between LSU and Florida State was super epic, right? Like, I mean, they had. Y'all were kind of running away with it, and then, Jaden Daniels kind of put the team on his back and drove them all the way down. Then they had the blocked field goal, the muffed extra point, or the blocked extra point, and then the muffed punt returns. Watching your brother played great, right? I think some of the criticism that Jordan gets is similar to what kind of Jaden got last year as like, oh, he's a super athlete. He's just a runner. He can throw it when he needs to, but he's not a great passer. I'd imagine that your brother has heard those critiques and probably has put in some work. Have you seen an improvement? Obviously, I know you've probably talked to him. Like, does he feel that he is a lot more capable or equipped to make these throws downfield, become a better passer, and not rely so much on his legs? Because, like you said, knees are a fickle thing, and you don't want his knees getting taken out if he's running all the time.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know a ton about football. All I've ever said about my brother is this, and you're right. They love to throw those, hey, he's just a runner, he's an athlete, all that good stuff out there. I feel like that's people's favorite thing to do. Once again, it's not I don't know much about it. I just know that when Jordan Travis is in the game, he makes his team better, and I think back on my career, and I think about the players that were the best on our team. First and foremost, they made our team better, and I wanted them in that lineup every day. And as a Florida State fan, not a brother, because I'm pretty hard on my brother. Yeah. When Jordan Travis is playing, and I feel like it's been like this through James Blackman and Mackenzie Milton and all the other guys, great dudes, big fans of them. But as a fan, when Jordan Travis is in the game, I feel like our team has a chance to beat anyone on any given day. So that's like the best answer I could give you. I think he's capable of making passes. I've seen him do it his whole life. I think he got pretty mentally messed up and really stopped believing he could even throw a football. I'm not going to say the bad word, but
yeah, don't say it.
We know we know baseball players that
don't do that.
Struggle to throw a baseball because the mind.
Yep.
Like I said, the mind's so powerful, and I believe he's capable of making throws. Unfortunately, me believing it and me saying it doesn't really have too great of an impact on what happens on this Sunday and upcoming Saturdays.
I love that you gave us that little bit of because I was actually going to ask you, because I wanted to see if it was going to come out. The fan in you finally came out. Is this a statement game for Florida State? Like, is this something that should be marked on the calendar, and is something that should be pointed to, hey, this is part of us going the other way?
I mean, yeah, right. It's Florida State, LSU, two huge brands. Obviously, powerhouse in the SEC. Against what used to be a powerhouse throughout the country, who's been down the last 7, 8, 9 years, and they're trying to come back. I think it's a statement game. The game of baseball compared to football, I think that every game is like it's so important, right? If your dream is your goal is to win a national championship, that means beating LSU on Sunday or beating a 4-7 team in week 12, week 13. Every game matters. This team has huge aspirations. You hear the media. I think the coolest part for me, knowing a lot of the guys on the team. Like I said, I'm not the player. I don't know the player's great, but the people. They're level-minded kids. They come from great families. When they walk, they walk with their chest up. When they speak, it's respect. I think that's the biggest change I've seen from Florida State of the past to Florida State today. I don't know. We'll see. I'd say it's a statement game.
So keep the fan hat on, because listen, to be like, everyone's a fan, right? You're a fan. We're fans. Like, we're not. I didn't play college football. I love football. I know a lot about football just because of growing up around it. Jay actually played football, and so he's got more of an insight than we do. But we're all fans at the end of the day, and you can still look at the game from a fan's perspective, right? So, looking at it, obviously it's two big brands. It's two teams that bring back a lot of talent, right? Is there something as a fan that worries you playing LSU? And is there something as a fan that you're very confident in going into Sunday?
Yeah, I'd say the thing that worries me the most is expectation. I think that this is a very good Florida State football team. I think that they are capable of making a big run. But managing expectations are huge. It's one thing to beat a good team when you're not expected to beat them. It's another thing to beat a really good team when you're expected to be just as good. So that's my worry, is expectation. It's always hard to live up to that hype. I would say what worries me about LSU, dude, they're just a really good football team. If I'm being honest about that game last year, I don't think the game was close. I think that Florida State dominated that game. I think that 5 minutes left in the game, we run a toss and we fumbled, and you should just hand the ball off and go in the end zone and go up 3 scores, or you kick a field goal. But that's a whole other topic. I think that game was dominated. I think that both teams are better. And Brian Kelly is a brilliant mind, and Mike Norvell is a brilliant mind, and those boys hopefully are buckled up and ready to go, because this can be our toughest game of the year.
Hey, from an outside looking in, we've already pretty much highlighted one Florida State playmaker. Can you kind of make this audience here kind of aware of another guy that you are expecting to play a huge part in this game?
Yeah, I think Jaheim Bell is maybe outside of Jared Verse, I think he's maybe the best pro prospect on this team, the tight end transfer from South Carolina. I think he's ultra talented. He's big. He's physical. He's runs a 4.4, 235, 240 pounds. I think
pretty
great.
good.
It's crazy that's run of the mill these days. A tight
ends are running 4.4s. That's unbelievable.
Being 240, running 4.4 is like, wait, oh yeah, you got one of those too?
Where do they make those guys? That would be my first. I think the Keon Coleman is obviously has a ton of hype, but I think the one guy on this team that's going to have, could end up having the best pro career out of any guy on this team, I think, is Jaheim Bell. So that would be the guy that I think could be an X factor because he can line up at so many different positions and affect the game in so many different ways.
I'm gonna shoot that over to BK a little bit and let him know that's what your brother's looking for. And just
I'm sure he's seen this guy. It's hard to miss that guy. I'm sure. 6'4", 235 pounds with a 4.4. Hey, this guy, we probably should cover that guy. Let's put
a body on that. Huh?
Yeah. So obviously, Florida State's in the ACC. You've seen a ton of realignment, right? There's some rumors. I don't know how much the rumors are going to be true, but there's rumors that the SEC would love to add Florida State and Clemson, right? As a Florida State guy, right? You're a baseball player, so I'm biased, but I think SEC has the best football in the country, and I think they have the best. Actually, I know. I don't think there's any comparison to the baseball in the country, right? So, as a former player and as a fan of Florida State, would you like that move if Florida State made the move to the SEC?
Oh, yeah.
All right, good.
Hey, at the end of the day, right, I feel like all these moves are happening because of money.
Right.
And Florida State is a very powerful program that is behind the eight ball greatly when it comes to money and you got teams like, no disrespect, but you got teams like Mizzou that are bringing in more money than a program like Florida State. Well, you got NILs, you got these flashy recruits that want to see the flashy things that Florida State wants to keep up. Maybe they don't have to move. The ACC needs to come up with a miracle plan. I don't know, but I think that money talks.
Well, Vandy's struggling to build their stadium right now. I think it's on Vandy. They're even making a bunch of money, enough to redo their stadium, but just not enough to expedite the process. I don't know if you saw it, but they had to play week 1 against Hawaii. They're playing in a stadium that is not done. It is wow. They're redoing the whole stadium, but half the bleachers aren't ready. It's a debacle. But to your point, they're making a ton of money because of being in the SEC, even though they don't really win many football games. Are you going to the game?
Yeah.
You're going to be there. Nice. I was supposed to go, but I decided not to. We're going to the beach instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to go to that.
I will say this. When y'all came to New Orleans, Florida State travels, Coach. Y'all brought a ton of fans. It was Superdome was 50-50.
It was 50-50.
I didn't expect that.
Me either.
That was crazy to me.
Me either. I was like,
no one
shit.
knows LSU fans. Nobody.
I know, and I'm bummed that I'm not going to be there. But I was shocked. I was like, damn, they kind of, they're kind of you hear them they're louder than us. Obviously y'all dominated.
They had a lot to cheer about. So
yeah.
We're begging to be back. That's it. We finally have something to be excited about.
At least y'all don't talk about Texas. Texas is back. Texas is back. Florida State just kind of quietly doing it. Now y'all are in the top 10. Texas is never back. But y'all are making y'all's way. Norvell was going through it, and he had a big year last year, and I feel like he's kind of started to move forward and kind of climb that mountain now. Kind of got out of the quicksand that he was in when he got there. But, dude, man, I appreciate your time. I love having you on. We'd love to have you on through the course of once we get to baseball
after
season.
the game. After
the game, maybe give me a live update on how you're feeling. But man, we appreciate you. If y'all win, I'm sure you'd be excited about it. If you lose,
call it
not
us.
so much. Yeah.
If we win, no problem.
Have you talked to your brother this week at all?
Yeah, we talk quite a bit. We don't ever talk football, so.
Don't lie to me, because you know that's where I'm going. He didn't talk about Mason Smith being out, the defensive tackle.
He doesn't
for
talk
LSU.
football.
Yeah, he does.
Dude, when I tell you, my whole family, like, football is just like what Jordan does. Like, I don't even say, like, hey, how's practice, bro? Like, the only way I'll maybe get it out of him will be something along the lines of, like, hey, how you feeling, bro? Oh, yeah, you feel pretty good? That's good. Everybody looking good? Yeah, okay, good. That's it. Like,
That's it.
I don't even have a clue. I always wanted to talk the game with my family. My brother's like, hey, when I'm not on the field,
Turns it off.
It's off.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
That's good, though. Sometimes you need that. Sometimes
Got a nice
you need
little
that.
separation there. I
Bastard.
like
No,
it.
I want some info, man. I want to know, like, are we running like a little trick play? Like, hey, what's the first play?
Yeah, give me like what do we practice all week? What's the first drive? Show me. Are you gonna you have anything
15.
crazy? You're gonna score a touchdown? What are you gonna do?
Yeah, nothing. I get nothing at all. Zero.
Damn. Even when he scores, he's like, hey, I'm gonna show you that I'm thinking about you or something. Nothing. Not even part of the celebration.
After a huge game, you can't even like talk about like, hey, bro, that was sick. Like, hey, what'd you see right there? Like, yo, that move. Nothing. Like, I'm telling you, he's like dead. It's
Honestly,
like,
it's probably
hey,
a good thing for a quarterback. It's probably a good thing to do.
Hey,
as
I
a
respect
quarterback.
that, man.
No, but like,
It's your
Come on, I
family.
want some of the ends, you know, like.
Yeah. Like you talk shit to this guy. What'd you say after? Hey, I saw that guy talking shit. What'd you say back to him? Oh, nothing.
Yeah, I'm sure
I told him good
That's
game.
the most, actually, he will say that. He's like, hey, Jordan, whatever. He'll be like, whatever. Get hit, whatever. Be like, yeah, I told that boy, keep hitting me. I ain't feel it. Like, that's like the max.
Hey, wait. Chill out.
I love that. Man, Devin, dude, I appreciate you. I really do. I hope we can get you back on, especially with baseball season. I know you do a lot of baseball coverage for ESPN, and you're doing a lot of scouting. We had a little conversation earlier today about the state of professional baseball. So when baseball season starts to ramp up, or postseason, obviously, we'll get you back on. You were part of the whole the right hook deal, right?
With Batista?
Yeah.
I had surgery the day before.
Oh, wow.
I was not there, thank God.
You were not in fighting shape.
Nah, I'm not afraid to fight, but I don't know how to fight.
Yeah, hey, you're just going to be athletic and see what happens. I get that. I'm on board with that. No doubt.
Never been in a fight in my life.
That's
Tell you
good.
what, might happen at the Miami game.
Hey, well, you got to start sparring before it is, man. But,
that's
hey,
great.
I appreciate you, man. We'll stay in touch.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all having me, Jay, Mikey. Thank you, guys.
Yep,
man,
no problem,
yeah.
dude. Anytime.
See
See y'all.
All around, great guy. Great guy.
we could have kept him on for a little couch talk all day, right?
Oh, yeah. That's when it gets real fun.
I don't believe him at all. He knows more than he's laying on.
You think?
Yes.
I don't think so. I think he's terrible.
I think he's telling it straight up.
I mean, it's not that he probably doesn't want to know about it, but you can turn that back to you now.
It's,
Yeah, I
you
do
know what?
wanna
It
move
sounds
it
to me.
right
It
now.
sounds to me like he has his, couple, few, 2, 3 in him, and his brother's like, "Hey, man, just leave me alone." Right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
I'm not having this
Yeah,
conversation.
He's texting him before the game. Like, hey, bro, what do we got? Like, did you see that? Like, hey, dude, it's an hour and a half.
Leave me alone.
Leave me alone.
And he gets it then. They're like, "Hey, you're all right."
Yeah, dude, he was a great baseball player, man.
Yeah, he
Great
was,
dude,
man.
obviously.
Yeah, he was.
Love that he was an LSU guy.
I hated that he when the injury started, they just wouldn't stop for him, bro. Because
Yep.
he was a good ball player, man.
Yep. I forgot Matulis was one of his best friends.
And Ryan Goins used to talk so good about him, bro. I'm like, hey, man, like I got to get a chance to meet this guy, man. So it was cool having him on, man. Really.
He's a great dude. That conversation is brought to you by our friends at FCO Development. FCO Development's a civil construction company based out of Lafayette, Louisiana. They specialize in new multifamily construction, site drainage, site utilities, earthwork, site clearing, house pads, ponds, demo work, and hurricane cleanup. Hurricane season, it's the peak of hurricane season right now. If you need anybody to help with some of that cleanup or any of the other services they provide, give them a call. Their number is 337-534-4675. The number is 337-534-4675. Again, they're based out of Lafayette, but they travel all around Louisiana. Great people. Been in the industry for a really long time. Give them a shout. Tell them that we called. All right. Now that we got a little conversation about Florida State, right, let's talk a little bit about
The other side of the coin?
On the other side of the coin, right? The one that really matters to us. Right? And
I didn't like hearing about that tight end. My camera doesn't work today. I don't know what's going on. But that's the least of our worries, considering we got what we needed done on the back end.
so here's my deal. If that guy is such a freak show, who do we?
That's the issue. Is we don't. I don't know. That's
if he's a 4-4 guy, he's going to be split out. He's not going to be on the line of scrimmage the whole game. So
it'll be Sage.
You Sage Ryan, right? You'd imagine, because he's kind of a bigger bodied cornerback.
Brian Kelly said he's one of the. It's removing as one of the fastest on the team. So if he's a 4-4 guy, I'd imagine that puts Sage in that same range where he'd be able to keep up with him. Big body, physical.
I should have got a score update from this guy. I should have asked him, Devin, what do you think the score is going to be?
Oh yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead. Finish.
Oh no, that's all I was going to say. Is if he's that big and fast, you have pretty much one guy. You're not going to put Harold Perkins on him and put him in coverage. You're going to keep him kind of in the box. He hasn't worked on that part of his game. It's been more playing in the middle as opposed to splitting out with somebody and covering a tight end.
Yeah.
So it really does default to probably Sage Ryan, who's been working more in coverage. So it makes sense, but it'll be more of at I guess, in the slot position than as opposed to working outside.
Yeah.
I love that I love that his next player to highlight was not another defensive player, right? Like you have the Jared Verse guy. It's a good player. Like, he's a good player, right? If you had another one of him, and I'm not saying that they don't, but being that he wasn't the first one thought of, I like that a lot, because coming out the gates game one, where if this team is going to go really anywhere, it's probably not going to be super dominated by the defense. Meaning, with that being said, I'd like the offense to kind of get in, get the confidence riding high, and kind of being able to roll like that. So I kind of like that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously, he knows a little bit more about it because, Jordan's a quarterback, so you want a guy that's going to protect your brother as far as, like, making plays for him. They have a forward of a receiver. Like, he's 6'7", a wide receiver who's 6'7". He gave us a ton of issues.
Oh, he showed up last year.
So ton of issues. So, like, obviously, that's his favorite.
Yeah. He's got two trees to throw to now.
Right. So it's going to be, dude, they're good. It's going to be, Devin just texted, he goes, man, good luck to both. Like, it's going to be a slugfest. And I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. We have some score predictions we're going to give later on in the show. But, yeah, it's going to be fun to watch. Now, as far as the secondary goes, like, Sage Ryan's obviously back at practice. We talked about the cornerbacks and the safeties and linebackers and all of those types of things. I don't think that you have anybody. I don't think anybody in the country has someone who can match up with a 6'7" wide receiver. Like, mano a mano. Like, you can play man coverage and you can make some plays on him, but, like, end of the day, you can't teach size. You know what I mean? So that he kind of worries me a little bit. He kind of worries me a little bit, but you just have to figure it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Figure out how to cover that. But that'll be interesting, because we had big corners last year, right? And like,
Zay Alexander.
Was that
Zay Alexander is probably your tallest corner this year?
Yeah, but
you talking about, is that Preston Wilson? Is that who they have lined up on the outside? Who had, I think he went for almost 100 yards last year against LSU.
6'7".
Yeah, he's a monster. So that would be like the biggest. And they return a running back. They return a lot. That's why the matchup's so interesting to me.
They're the number one. As far as production returning, they're the number one team in the country as far as what they had last year and coming back.
Right.
LSU's not far off from that, but as far as offensive production, defensive production, all around production, they're the number one team in the country returning those types of guys. So
that's why the matchup's so intriguing, because it's not, even if you look around the SEC, there's not another team that probably compares to LSU in terms of what they're bringing back and the continuity that they have. And you look around, of course, it's LSU, Florida State, like where you'd be like, this is going to be a major advantage for a team. And now it's like, actually, this is the only thing that's square. Yeah, they're the two best in returning people in that department.
Yeah, that you mentioned those are great points. And I think, like, much like last year, this matchup in my mind is being a little underplayed, because let's just say in the event that LSU were to win the game, and let's just say somewhere down the line, I don't know, let's say Florida State loses to Clemson. It'll be taken as if Florida State wasn't as good as they were this year. Much like when LSU lost to them last year, if they were looked at the way they ended the year, the same way they started the year, then you would have been like, but they lost to a top 10 team game one after they had a week 0 game. I understand it.
Yeah.
Watch what they've done through the rest of the thing. They had to do literally like crazy work to get back into the conversation that they were in, right?
Yeah.
I do think, once again, this is a bigger matchup than it's being given the hype to. And don't get me wrong, it's probably the game of the week. But I still think it is a bigger game and it's going to mean more to the season than people
When you
are
look back
actually
at the end of the year,
seeing.
you're like, oh, damn, okay, they started
Yeah.
in the top 10. Now these teams like potentially could be in the top 5 teams
Yeah.
in the country, both of them, right? And
Florida State has the exact same year last year with the loss to LSU, and he goes, Mike Norvell loses 4 out of his first 6 games. In 2022, he gets fired. He's not coming back.
right,
Instead,
and that's the thing. They got super hot.
You're right. And
They-
so even
they-
with the LSU win, I think they won 2 more than they lost 3 straight,
Yep.
all in SEC play,
And
and
they
it
won the
was
rest they won out,
right.
right?
But then it was Norvell was back on the hot seat,
Right.
But if he had started off with the loss, wins 2, then loses 3, and they're 2-4 after their first 6, I think he might get canned in the middle of the year.
Right. Well, here's the deal, dude. Like I think ACC for them is gettable.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I mean,
they should win.
obviously-
They're probably the odds-on favorite to win the ACC this year.
I think Clemson, maybe.
You know,
Clemson. You have Clemson and North Carolina's gonna be solid because
Yeah.
of
Drake May.
Drake May. But
yeah.
I mean, other than that, like I think that Florida State's got the most returning. Right. They have the most. Hey, this is what you know. This is what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
I think they have a real shot at taking home the ACC championship.
Yeah,
right?
of course. I don't even think that's a question.
And so they have the ability, even if they lose this game,
to still win
a
their
chance to
conference.
back into it to win the conference
Yeah.
and make it to the playoff.
I would make the argument that Norvell's job was saved more by the win than it would have been threatened by a loss to LSU, in my opinion, to start the year last year. There's just no way in hell you could tell me that they really thought upper management, upper brass, like, hey, this is a good one to peg. If he loses this one and a couple more, we can get him out of here mid-year, right? Having that one on the schedule, I think, was a situation where if you're being honest about it, not if you're literally plotting and putting him up in a situation to say we trying to get him out of here. If you're being honest about it, it's like, hey, that's a tough one. We would love for you to win it, but it would mean a lot to this program, but it's a tough one, right?
Yeah.
So I think that win last year did a lot more to helping him keep the job, and obviously how they finished the year, there was no question. But I think it did a lot more to helping him keep the job than it did.
Yeah, it steadied the ship after
Right.
what he kind of had a tumultuous year before. Yeah. And if you play that card and they put Brian Kelly in that same circumstance, I think if you're a rational LSU fan, it wasn't as big of a deal when you look at the whole picture as to what happened, what was coming back, whole new regime in its first game in literally the game of the week where it's the only one on TV, and you're replaying that scenario over again as far as what the metrics and everything that you look at for how, I guess, big the game is and what the stakes are, but it feels like you're almost playing 2 totally different teams.
You know what I wonder? Just a thought process. It's literally just popped in my head now. Like, did the emerging dominance of like SEC football and pretty much like all the SEC teams take away from the pretty much always 1 to 2, sometimes even 3 dominant Florida teams? Think about it. Miami was always usually pretty good. Florida was always usually pretty good. Florida State was always usually pretty good. And now a lot of these SEC teams have a lot of Florida native guys on these teams. Did the emergence of what the SEC basically bring those guys to say, hey, I want to play in this league, and kind of push to the downfall, if you will, of those schools, and to where they're not as dominant, or at least as a whole, as they have been over the past 20 to 25 years? I don't know where it came from. It's just a thought process.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's possible.
It's possible. I mean, yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, guys leave. There's more guys that'll sign, but maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, I would imagine Florida State, Miami would have loved to have kept a Patrick Peterson in state.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of
teams might have been a little bit better with that guy on the
there's
squad.
there's a lot of Florida guys that.
And I'm literally just throwing that name. Like I'm sure one of them would have loved to have kept the Lamar Jackson in state. Instead, he's at Louisville.
Right.
Like I'm just, and obviously he didn't come to the SEC, but I'm just saying, like, I'm wondering if that has any, kind of anything to do with it.
I think you're starting to see a lot of it with Texas and Oklahoma already, where
it's easy to recruit.
Yeah, because that's a lot of the deciding factor if you're a player from Texas that LSU was pulling from consistently, because what did you hear whenever they left? It's like, oh, I love the state of Texas, love Texas, but I want to go play against the best in the SEC.
Right.
Now you can't play that card anymore because Texas is literally joining the SEC.
Very true.
And so there's credence to that, and Also, if they were a little bit better, like Florida State, you could say the same thing for Texas and Oklahoma. Like Oklahoma was as good as you can be without winning really anything.
Yeah.
Like you could say the Big 12, but that's great. But every time they got to the playoff, you never felt a threat.
Yeah.
You always felt like you had a chance to win those games, especially LSU, and they put up damn near 70 points. But now with the SEC card in their back pocket, and Florida State doesn't have that, and I'm not sure they will get that opportunity. But
you think the ACC is going to keep their teams?
I think it
would be smart for them, huh?
I think so too.
I think the SEC is not interested in adding another team right now. The way that they have it, it's everything else is chaos around you, and you feel pretty good.
For sure. But I know there was a rumor, like they had talked about mentioning getting Florida State and Clemson, but I think the ACC is fighting back. Like the Pac-12 didn't fight back. They thought, oh, this isn't going to happen. We're going to sit back. Like
the USC game was on YouTube.
Yeah, and so then they got screwed, right? Now the ACC is trying to bring in Stanford and Cal, right, to the ACC. So that's them saying, okay, we're going to save our conference, which makes it less likely for them to come over. But those two teams seem like the most
the ACC
the realistic fit, right? Because Tallahassee's right there. Yeah. Like it's almost probably the same distance as Gainesville, right? I would imagine.
Oh yeah, I don't think
geographically.
Still though, even with Clemson, Clemson's right in South Carolina's background, right in the Kentucky area.
Oh no, those are still teams that play in the SEC bucket where you're not going like the ACC is trying to do, where you're going literally coast to coast. SEC still stays right in that.
If you had to start planning for those two teams, we're not talking about them traveling to the Pacific Northwest or to the Upper East Coast or something like that. Like it's kind of in already, like you said, in that travel plan.
Yeah, the ACC just has so much money tied up in its television deal. I'm hard pressed to see Clemson and Florida State try to balk on that, and that's why there's so much money in the buyout for them to have to get out.
Right,
it's like, well, you have to pay. We just signed a deal,
right?
And so it's nearly impossible for them to get out.
Yeah, no, I know. It'd be interesting, but I like the fact that the Big 12.
Yeah, it still gives you some sort of feel of what college football is.
So 4 conferences, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to get rid of the Pac-4 or Pac-4 now,
yeah, that'll devolve.
Fine, but I think 4 conferences is good. Like, you can have 4 super conferences. Like, you can have 4 conferences with these bigger teams, and then look, the way football is growing and the way the transfers are,
then they'll start to do the relegation at the end of the
year. Yeah, still want it.
I mean, I think relegation and
I don't know how that's not a thing everywhere. I don't know how. I
guess NFL you can't really do it.
I know how, but yeah.
Baseball, I guess you can't really do it either, but baseball would be the sport that maybe.
You know where there needs to be some relegation in baseball? Umpires. Anyway,
we'll get to that. And other news around college football, right? So Colorado has their first game of the season on Saturday, right? They play 11 a.m. They play TCU, right?
By the way, did you still see the line, pretty much the current line on them for win total on the year?
What is it?
Can you take a guess?
3.5.
Still at 3.5.
Yeah, because they don't play any Cape Cupcakes. They play all Division I teams.
Still sitting at 3.5.
A lot of transfers. Look, Dion was in the media the other day saying that he doesn't give a shit about culture.
Yeah.
He wants the best players on there. He goes, I'll play with guys who quarterbacks and receivers hate each other. But when it came on, they turned it on. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. This isn't the NFL, though. This is college. So it's a little different, right? It's a little bit more emotional here. But also, by doing that and saying that and bringing these guys in, whether you don't care about culture, you're creating a culture unintentionally. Right? I'm a big Dion fan, too.
Yeah, but I think he said that, and I'm not exactly sure I take it at face value.
Right.
Because I think he understands he's creating a culture, but I think his culture needs, in his mind, is it's win, and that's if we can get in this clubhouse in this locker room together, and we can get around that same one idea, then that's
it fixes a lot of culture.
Yeah, I think that's
no doubt.
So I don't take it at face value of what he said because I think that guy understands culture.
But obviously tomorrow's Florida. But I'm confused. Staying in the college football realm. So North Carolina is obviously ranked in the top 25. They're playing South Carolina. When I was going through the schedule and I was looking at intriguing games, I don't know why I just skipped over this one. But then I was going back the other day and I was looking through them. I'm like, one, North Carolina's ranked. Obviously, they have a quarterback who's probably going to get drafted in the top 5 at the NFL draft last year. He's super talent, stayed there. But you also are playing South Carolina, who South Carolina ended the season on this super hot streak with a ton of momentum. Shane Beamer is, Beamer balls at South Carolina. You have your quarterback, who people may not like, but he's a veteran, he's got talent, and he's there. I'm kind of shocked that they're not ranked in the top 25, just based off of the way they finished the season last year and who they have returning. Because anytime you return your starting quarterback, especially
well, let's be honest.
numbers
Whether
like
you hate him, love him, it's supposed to be a dude.
Right.
You would think.
I'm interested to watch that game. Like, that one's, to me, is going to be kind of entertaining. You get two high-level quarterbacks, I would imagine, right? And anytime you have that, like, anything can happen in the games.
Oh, it's going to be massively entertaining. That's the only thing
right.
that you're really looking for is an entertainment factor. I don't know how much it'll play into, like, the national picture.
No.
But I think it'll just be a good game. When you look down the list, that's probably third, then Utah, Florida, then LSU, Florida State. Those feel like the three biggest marquee games of the weekend.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, Clemson
No, I mean, I'll watch it, but I'm saying those three could.
I mean, it means a lot to that conference.
Right. Well, I'm talking about, because you look at the SEC West, right? LSU, Alabama, like A&M's supposed to be talented this year. Arkansas is whatever. Ole Miss is supposed to be pretty good this year. Auburn is Auburn. They always, they may not think that they're good, but somehow they sneak away in there. Like, you have teams, but then you look at the East and you're like, all right, well, Florida, we don't really know. Georgia, okay. Yes.
It feels like Georgia and everybody else.
Tennessee, good.
One great year.
But South Carolina, it feels like if they can be good, right, and competitive, at least that gives puts more competition in the East, right? I'm not saying they're going to go ahead and beat Georgia or beat Tennessee, but, like, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, the more competition you have, the more likely it is you can slip up and have losses and do stuff, and I think that's good for the SEC.
Yeah, if you're go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I would just say if you're a South Carolina, that's kind of you're trying to do what Tennessee did last year, where you're trying to get hot and make sure we have a quarterback. That's a veteran 4th-year guy. Feels like we have a pretty good coach and we made the right hire. The thing that's hurting them is that they lost a ton in the transfer portal, like a ton of their talented guys. They had the number one recruit that they've ever gotten, like their second biggest recruit since Jadeveon Clowney. He walked and went to Oregon.
What's his name?
Birch, I believe.
What about that tight end?
That's what I was going to bring up next. But then they pivot, and I thought he was going to play defensive end, Nicholas Harbor. And now they're saying he's playing wide receiver, tight end, kind of in that.
Well, I mean, he's a track star.
Yeah,
at 6'5",
235.
Yeah, we talked about the tight end for Florida State.
He just hasn't played. He didn't play offense until this year. That was the first time he's lined up on offense in high school.
I mean,
I would imagine so.
I mean, the measurements of him and the fact that he has that track background, it just makes me feel like offense is obviously, and they feel the same way. Like, hey, we're going to put you in, as long as the ball's in your hand, I think that you have a lot more opportunity to do things with it. Yeah, you can play defense and do stuff, but, like, you can't impact the game, I think, as often, frequently as you can offensively.
Hey, listen, if you're a 6'5", 250-pound sprinter, I need to get you somewhere to where you can sprint.
Right.
Which means running the arc and running the circle is not necessarily a sprint. I want to see you open up and, like, actually have to use the hammies and drive, right?
No doubt.
Getting him on the offensive side of the ball doesn't surprise me. My question is this. As embarrassing of a year that they had last year, and you knew kind of the Fab Five or whatever you want to call it type of class that they had in the building. Obviously, some of them left. Man, how good can A&M be this year with the addition of Petrino, right? It's Petrino that's there, right?
Yeah, that's going to go one of two ways.
Right. But if it goes the one way, like, how good could they be? How sneaky good could they be this year?
So, I mean, so they already, obviously, is it Wegman?
Yeah.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Wegman, they announced him as a starting quarterback, which we all anticipated that was going to be the case because he played pretty solid last year.
Big recruit, played solid.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
They have a ton of talent, right?
It makes sense.
I think Jimbo understands, okay, I got to make a little bit some changes to what we've done, right? I think Wegman's probably the guy that he really wants behind under center because I think he's the guy who can really make that offense move and go. But the talent's there. Like
not just the talent's there, but that's, to me, just knowing what I do know of Jimbo, that's a scary situation when you have someone that has been as good as a coach as he is in the past and that's known to be an offensive coach that, in a way, I guess, relinquishes some duties and brings in another name like that.
Well, and that's the other question. Like,
how much?
Hey, could they be good, or could they derail each other because of those two?
It has the chance to do that, but I'm like, man, if he actually does I won't say let that guy do his thing. I would imagine he's still going to oversee a lot of it.
For sure.
Right? But I think we've all kind of made the joke, like he's got glasses on, he's got a pen, he's got a playbook that's like this big on the sideline. It looks like he's trying to do a lot during the game.
Yep.
So if he's relinquishing some of these duties to an offensive coordinator, and now he's kind of being able to just manager and oversee and do those things.
Well, you say, hey, listen, this is our philosophy. This is what we want to do as like our core values of an offense, right? Yeah. This is exactly what we want to look like or do. How you get to that, maybe that's up to the offensive coordinator, right? And they have some talk, and they try to figure it out. And you say, okay, listen, I'm gonna let you run that. This is the outlook of what I want it to look like. How we fit it in, how we put the pieces. Let's talk that through, and then maybe that's the hey, I'm gonna give you that piece, and then we're just gonna have a
if he's giving that piece to a mind like Petrino,
that's scary. I mean, they could be very good. I mean, they're super talented. They have a ton of people on their roster, but
that'll be an interesting one to watch during the season.
Yeah, they're a good team. Every time they're hyped up, though,
I agree with that too, and we've talked about the A&M fan train for a while.
And I know people hated the fact that they moved the Arkansas game away, but I love that A&M's the last game of the season every year now.
Yeah, I like that one too.
I just think that there's more, holds more weight now with the teams. Like Arkansas is good sometimes, and sometimes they're not. But and it's always a good game. And there's more history and tradition there.
Yeah, the only thing I don't love about it is that knowing, I know Jimbo knows what it takes to win on this collegiate level, and so you're asking a lot of a team that within the last 4 is going to play Alabama. Then in the last game of the season, they're going to play A&M, and then a week later they're going to turn around and play
SEC tournament.
If you're good enough to make it there, SEC, that's a murderer's row of a situation. And I think that's not so much off of can you do it and can you get up, but that's a lot to stay healthy for.
No doubt.
So if there's any part of me that doesn't love it, and look, the rest of the SEC is no joke.
Yeah, right.
I'm not going to sit here and say playing Arkansas was like a cakewalk into next weekend. It's never been that. But that's what I think about when I'm like, oh, man, I don't know if I love it just because of that.
Well, and you look at the schedule, man. So you just talked about November. Alabama in November, Florida in November, Georgia State, whatever, and then A&M. So the one positive about that is Alabama's on the road, then Florida's at home, and A&M's at home.
Right.
So at least you get them at home. You have Georgia State in between. So at least you have those 2 home games.
Yeah.
But I'm with you though. It's still physical.
To me, it's just literally the physicality of it, not so much where it is and all of that stuff, because that's only this year, right? Next year it goes and flips and it's the other way around. I literally just mean just the straight up physicality of what those games are at that time, because like I said, that's a murderer's row of it right there.
Yeah.
But
it's SEC.
But this is, and that's the thing though. That's the crazy part about it. That's the beautiful part of sports is that's a conversation we can have from this seat because we're not in that building. In that building, you're licking your teeth at that opportunity in November to be like, I told you we belonged here.
Yeah.
And you love the opportunity that's what you get to play at that part of the year because now hey, every one of these things are super meaningful.
Right.
Right? So it's, that's the conversation that it is.
Yeah, no doubt. Did you get the camera working, Lloyd? Can people see your beautiful face?
Not to add it in, so I feel like I can join the boys.
I love that. Well, before I ask you this next, I'm not going to ask you the question until you have your face and your beautiful mustache on the camera. So we'll continue to talk about what we're talking about. Before we go into our next conversation, we have a sponsor that we're going on a trip. I would love to, talk to our friends down at Range Rover to see if they can't just let me just borrow one of those nice Ranges.
Let me talk to you guys for
to get to Florida. Hey, listen, this is what we're doing. It's look, I'll put LSU on it.
Whatever you need.
Look, if you want a camera on this,
whatever you need.
But I doubt they're going to do that. But what they do is they offer a lot of good service. So that's something that I would maybe think that you'd think about at least. Right? Yes. Those are our guys. We love the fact that they're sponsors.
Yes.
We love their cars. You look great driving their Defender.
It looks great on the road.
You look great in it. And they've been good. They've been good people to us. They've been good sponsors to us. I know they're your babies. You brought them here because you have the relationship with them, and we love that. You want to give a shout out to our boys over there?
No doubt. I mean, look, let's make no mistake about it. They wanted to be a part of something that we were doing here because they believe in what we're doing, right? So the love of it all is that when you meet good people, you mesh with good people, you work with good people, and you keep good people in your corner. Peretti Land Rover has been great people to me. They've been great people to us so far, right? And
Never heard a bad thing about
it. And I don't expect that to stop anytime soon. So if you get a chance, go on down there, Airline Highway, Peretti Land Rover, check them out. Great service, great people. You never know what you might leave there with. And tell them we sent you. That's all you got to do.
Just tell them. Let them know.
Let them know.
Just let them know. They may not do anything for you, but it'll look good on us.
But
so if you like the show, it'll help us out. But it may. You never know.
If when you're standing at the craps table and they give you the dice, you may not win anything, but you should
but
roll.
you know what? You may win for the whole table. The whole table maybe get high, and then everybody loves you.
There you go.
So that's what can you do? What can you do to help your teammates? Are you back? Are you live? Are you good?
No, it's not working anymore.
Damn. Okay, well, let me ask you the question anyway then.
All right, I'm ready.
You can hear your voice.
Yes.
We talked about John Emery not playing, right? Do you have a little inside information behind the scenes on what the deal is? I don't know.
No, I do not. I mean, it feels like nobody can really get a read on John Emery no matter what the situation is. It always feels like it's something different, but always falls back on the same thing.
Right.
Whether
he didn't give a reason. Brian Kelly did not give a reason why he wasn't available, right? So
maybe he was part of the autograph signing.
Maybe. No.
I would prefer that than another academic.
Right. Now,
violation.
the way he's responding and the way he's acting and the lack of words he is saying about it, does that make you feel like it is something that he's frustrated with, like over with? Or do you feel like it's something that, hey, this is like, I'm trying to protect the player right now, this isn't his fault kind of thing.
Right.
There's no reason to bring it up. What do you feel like? What's your feelings on his tone when he talks about it?
I feel like he wants John to figure it out because he knows he can help, whether it be the team or just because it's his life that Brian Kelly kind of adopted, and he didn't know the situation. He knows how talented he is, wants to see him play, but he can't do it for you.
Yeah.
And if it's the same situation where it's academics again, and he's giving him every chance in the world.
Right.
So, but I just think he would like for him to figure it out because we've interviewed John multiple times on the morning show, and he couldn't be a better dude. Like the way, like when you talk to him, he's genuine. Right. You can tell he wants to play, but he just can't kind of get it out of his own way for something that probably now and where we are in college football shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
But they have to have something to hang their hat on and I guess
Well,
keep you in
matter.
school.
I mean, you gotta you gotta go to school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, like,
that's what I'm saying. It shouldn't matter, but I know that it has to.
Well, here's the thing. I would imagine for Brian, it's a little bit of both, right? Like something he feels like, man, I'm tired of dealing with this, but also, man, I need to help this kid out as much as I can, right? But the truth of it is, and please understand that I mean nothing towards John Emery as a person. I don't know him I've never met him. I don't know anything about him. But I do feel like when you move from Notre Dame to a school like this, you inherit more problems like this for whatever the reason may be, if that makes any sense. And so it's almost like, hey, for Brian, it was a move of, this is where I need to be to gain the talent that I need to gain to win the games that I haven't won in the past. But I'm also going to inherit a little bit more risk and more stuff to deal with and more stuff to manage, if you will.
Right.
Part of it. And once again,
this is something he never had to deal with.
I don't mean anything to John Emery because I don't know him as a person.
And we don't know the reason. Exactly. I mean, I felt like if I wanted to look at it and say, we don't know the reason, I feel like he would have mentioned academics when he announced it because that's the most common cause. So it might be something else to where, all right, he'll be back after this one-game suspension. I don't know why he would suspend him for one game for academics, or it could be we're holding him out because he hasn't been really at practice all spring and fall.
That could be it too.
And here's my other point to this, right? Like we talked about running backs, there are 8 running backs, right? Scholarship running backs.
Down to it feels like 5 right now.
Maybe he knew, hey, listen, good one.
Still is hurt.
Probably, it's not looking good right away.
Right.
Emory, we have no idea what's happening. We're going to bring in, we have a couple guys that were solid, but look, Josh Williams has been kind of banged up, so he's been recovering. We have Noah Cain. We know he's really good, but outside of Josh Williams and Noah Cain, you have Trey Bradford, who's been bouncing around everywhere, plus the 2 freshmen. We need to bring in some help that we can really rely on. So that's where Logan Diggs comes into play. So we had 8. Everybody's like, we are good at the running back
almost. Why do we have
position.
8?
Why do we have 8 people, right? We don't need to worry about the 2 freshmen. We don't have to rely on them. Look, if they can slowly move in there. Well, now 2 of those guys are out. Right? Josh Williams has been banged up. So that's 5 scholarship guys.
Which means you're actually down to maybe 2.
With 2 freshmen.
Right, that's what I'm saying, because you're not going to I don't think you're going to play Trey Holly or Caleb Jackson extended carries at the running back
So
role.
then you got 2 guys that you're comfortable with, and the third guy who's talented, who's been back and forth.
And he was also brought in, and you bring in 2 transfers. It was really kind of felt like, if you're looking at it the way we are now, it was just Noah Kane.
Right? So, like, we see it from the outside, and we see the numbers, and we look at it on a surface level, but you go really dig deep into it, you're like, damn.
They need it.
He needed it. That's why he did it. That's why he brought in Diggs from Notre Dame. Right now, obviously, he's
got Trey Bradford back.
And that's why he brought Trey Bradford back, because he knew they needed guys who, one, not only could play the running back position, but were good enough and talented enough to be able to do well here.
That came up a lot with when Trey Bradford, or actually it was more Logan Diggs, is this must be related to Emory. And so if you kind of follow that same school of thought, like, they bring in Trey Bradford. You're like, they might need bodies, because everybody that you look at, and you remember last year, Josh Williams was hurt and didn't really play a lot coming down the stretch. And then,
he's been
Armani, that's what I'm saying. He's never really gotten healthy. Armani Goodwin is coming off a serious hamstring.
Well, I actually, on a side note, I got another. So, Mekhi Wingo,
18.
Got 18. Is this the first time there's been an 18 that didn't get 18 again?
What do you mean?
So Josh Williams was 18 last year, right?
No,
he wasn't 18.
That was my call.
We thought he was going to get 18. That's right. I was.
But I guess he's been hurt and couldn't be around. This just felt like the.
That's right. No,
that would be Jonathan Giles.
Well, no, that was 7.
That's the first time that's happened.
Yeah, well, I think that was kind of started doing this a little bit.
A little bit. He never did this.
Well, to 7, that was so do that. Yeah, come on. This guy doesn't need to get straight. This guy doesn't need ricochet shots.
I thought I got fooled too. I thought Giles was going to be a player.
I mean, put up great numbers at Texas Tech. It's different over there. But
yeah, I mean, who was his quarterback?
To running backs, like to go back to running backs, like I think that Brian Kelly knew what was on the horizon. I mean, I know that he knew. Obviously, he's got a pulse on everything. He understands. He looks at more of the big picture than just what he's currently got on the field. And so now looking back at it, it was a smart move to bring all these guys in, because you start with 8, you don't have to rush the freshmen in. They have to force their way, and now you're with probably 5 guys that are on scholarship that are healthy, and 3 of those 5 guys you feel confident enough to put into the game. So, every running back is needed, which is a big thing. We mentioned this earlier. We did not mention this earlier. We put it out on Twitter. It is Wednesday, so it is Ask Mikey and Mitch Day. That is on me. I should have announced that earlier, and we should announce that earlier. But if there are any questions of people listening or watching, go ahead and shoot us a question in the chat. We will answer as many as we can. I don't think we've had any. We may have some on Twitter. I don't know. We did it last minute. So it is Wednesday. Ask Mikey and Mitch, but we will
get them into the chat. Sorry, I haven't been in the chat. We had some last-second things that we were trying to make sure worked, and we got them to work. So now I'm back. Also, don't have a screen for the boys, so I had to twist that, so I couldn't use the chat.
You did. That was good. We audible. That was great. It made the interview go smoothly. I appreciate it. We're back on.
Got a compliment on the studio.
Yes, we did. We're back on the train with video calls. Love that.
Love that.
My last little point before we move on to other topics about LSU, because listen, it's Wednesday. We have a whole nother show to talk about
gambling.
What's going to happen in gambling. That'll be where all of our gambling picks are in.
And some predictions.
What is the
Same
line?
thing.
What is the lines? Give me the lines right now of this Sunday.
That's what I'm pulling up, because I
was trying to do it. I was trying to upload stuff into my Caesars account, but my bank has not sent me. My bank has not sent me.
Your wife probably has it blocked. It needs Caesars communication.
She doesn't have access to that account.
Oh, that account.
She doesn't have access.
It doesn't exist.
Name my account.
But yeah, that's probably it's your
stuff. I'm just trying to upload some stuff.
My picture, email address.
Yeah, like my profile.
Credit card number.
Yeah, I gotta change my profile. Banking or adding information.
But Thursday, obviously, is when the game starts. Kent State UFC. Tell me what you're interested in.
No. Go to the LSU's line.
Oh, LSU it's 2.5.
Still 2.5. What's the over-under?
Still 56.
56.
Okay, so 56. So my score that
No, we're not doing
I'm
that.
not, but my score that I gave to us in the group text, I was wondering for
I hit
that.
the over.
Huh?
I hit the over.
You want the over?
Yeah. Even though I still think it's high.
Mine would be the over too.
I still think it's high. I think it's the over.
Life's too short to bet the under, dude.
I don't want to be.
Who wants to bet the under too?
But it's the first game of the season. You would think they would score more points.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But
couple little tricks, couple little wrinkles in there.
I'm confident in the.
You see a lot. You see a lot of these on defense.
I don't want there to be a lot of points given up from LSU.
Yeah, you just want LSU to hit the over.
But I'm gonna say,
Yeah,
I'd love LSU to score 57 points. That'd be great.
And lose.
I'm interested to see how the time
Bo
clock
Pelini's entered the
management
chat.
will change and how it'll be managed in college football.
The what?
The time clock management, like the.
Oh yeah,
changes
that's
in the time clock.
That's gonna be a different wrinkle.
That's part of the over under that we're not talking about as well.
How do you think our former coaches would have handled that time management situation with a faster clock? You think that would have been good?
Oh,
you think
it basically wouldn't have. He wouldn't have known. I don't think Les would have known that even occurred. He'd be like, just keep playing the normal football way and be shocked.
Somehow, for a while, it would have worked in his favor. I don't know how that would have happened. Then it would have caught up to him.
Yeah, well, I'm saying you can't mask those mistakes because he was never aware of the clock to begin with. Now Ed would love a timeout.
You think he's still trying to act? I think he's still going to acting schools and like trying to get gigs and shit.
I don't know. I think he's.
The names. Well,
he would fit. He would fit in with Hollywood.
After the Kansas deal, his name fell off a cliff.
Yes,
it's over.
Because there was talk of him going to Game Day and being like a personality on that show.
It's over.
But I think Les knew better than to
they
put his public, be that public.
Yeah, they went with McAfee instead. I think
that's a good trade.
Probably a better move for them. And throw the key away. Let's not talk about it. Let's not talk about it. There's one other thing. Oh, we've talked about freshmen before. Like a lot of these freshmen coming in, right? Like Zalance Hurd and these guys who we think are going to fit in. But there still has not been a lot of mention about another receiver on the other side of Malik. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's important, right? Like, obviously, Mason Taylor's going to be good. They love the other tight end, but he's still going to have to develop. But you want another receiver. I think Kyron Lacey is a solid slot guy. Like, he's going to be able to go out and get some first downs and, make some, possession guy on third down, right? But you have some guys that are explosive, but nobody's really stood out. I'm just I know we've talked about it a lot, but I'm very excited to see which one is going to be the guy, right? And the longer this thing, nobody emerges, the more I think that Sheldon Sampson has a shot to, be that guy this year.
Shea Dixon said the same thing this morning. He said from all the guys at camp, they thought it was going to be other guys.
I'm just telling you what, if you can line him up on the outside, maybe even occasionally motion him down to a slot spot and let him take the top off the defense, I don't see why he doesn't end up taking over that spot.
Right. I mean,
just tell the truth about it. If you have someone, like you said, like a Kyron Lacey who can play the slot a little bit, if you have a big body possession receiver that you can throw on the field every now, I won't even say every now and then, because Brian Thomas has been a good player.
Right, and Brian Thomas may be that guy.
Exactly, that you can put on the field. Let's just say in the world that he doesn't grab that spot and that spot's his. If he doesn't just literally straight up man the X receiver. And there's some, in and out of that spot. Mm-hmm. In a world where you can have a big body receiver, possession receiver, a guy that can block, all right, I got somebody else that I can kind of put in there when I need to. In the world where you have an Aaron Anderson who's kind of just waiting in the wings and he can literally be somewhat of your gadget guy early, and we'll see how that progresses. Mm-hmm. Tell me where there's a Sheldon Sampson, a young, absolute burner that's long, that's rangy, that can take the top off of defense. Yep. And probably win you some 50-50 balls.
And then as he progresses, hopefully he understands a little bit more of the routes. And now you got two guys who are.
But listen, and my point, I guess my point.
He doesn't have to do that right now.
He won't have to do that. Right. If you have those other guys who can still do those things, he's not going to have to do that.
Right. As long as he knows where he's supposed to be
Not
and
this
where
year.
he's supposed to go.
Not this year.
Yeah, you don't have to run perfect routes on the whole route tree, but hey, this is your role.
If I can make you run this one, maybe even a play action
And
drag
scheme you
where
open,
you're coming
maybe?
across and
Yeah.
we can literally run away from the defense. Those things may play.
No doubt.
Those things may play, and there has been some very sneaky, like you said, some sneaky talk about how he's looked in camp, and that could be something to watch for.
And while it's a little surprising, it really shouldn't be, considering
He's a 5-star.
He was like a super 5-star
Yeah.
coming out of Catholic, but it was
Number one
just,
receiver, right? Not in the country,
but definitely in the state. But I would say somebody that also had those type of, I guess, accolades coming into their first year reminds me a lot of Terrace Marshall, and what like body type seems the same. Like did it really well in high school. Comes in, there might be a spot for you, there might not, but you'll get on the field, and then. That's what I think you'll be seeing some jostling between Chris Hilton.
I thought Terrace Marshall was going to be better in the NFL, and he still may be.
He got punked by the Panthers. There's nobody playing well there right now.
No, right. But I mean, he's still there. Like he has a shot. Now you have a better quarterback, but like you still haven't heard much about him. In preseason.
Like I said, I don't think there was really any good news coming out of Carolina that entire time. Like he would hope to get traded, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Sometimes situations matter a little bit.
No. A lot of times situations.
And now you have DJ Chark and Terrace Marshall for the Panthers, and no DJ Moore, so the door's open.
DJ Moore's not there.
No.
Yeah, you got traded to Chicago.
But
and DJ Moore. No DJ Moore.
No DJ
Moore.
Moore.
DJ Moore.
DJ Moore would be the Chicago's leading receiver.
Yeah.
Right now and all time. I think just from last year or something like that. Some crazy
No,
stat.
like with his career, I think.
He's
his Carolina career.
Yeah. At this point in his career,
great.
too.
It's always. If we go back to the Shelton conversation, this particular school is always very, very interesting in the sense of watching a guy come in as a freshman in a position where, let's be honest, like we didn't necessarily tab receiver as a spot of need, right? And watching a guy come in with so much talent that they start pushing themselves on the field at an early age at those spots, right? Like this is a very hard school to do that at. And so if you start seeing him do that, that should kind of give you some foresight of what his actual ability is and what possibly you may see him do down the road, you know?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, if he like
nobody coming in last year said, "Hey, man, we need an edge rusher. Like we have to have one. I don't think we're good enough there. I don't know if we can rush the passer." And the next thing you know, here comes Von Miller's little brother running around. Right? Like I'm serious. Like think about it. Like nobody looked at it like that last year, starting the year.
Right.
So this is a school when you start seeing stuff like that at a young age from guys, especially in positions where you didn't tab it as, we ain't got nobody there. We need somebody.
Right.
Yeah, the
Watch
pressure.
out. Watch
It's
out.
kind of like, I mean, I hate to bring his name up again, but it was the same situation with Tariq Gilbert when he came to LSU. It's like they need a tight end. They finally got one. And then you saw him play early and often, and even against Missouri, he had like almost 6 or 7 catches for almost 100 yards, a touchdown. You're like, okay, this guy's going to play as a freshman and be a player.
Yeah. And he did.
Look,
but that's a guy that was a position of need that had to do it.
Yeah, because we could sit here and say the same thing about Mason Taylor last year. Like, we needed a tight end, and
you had to play.
He came in and did everything, but that's a little different. You know what I'm saying? Like, you needed that, and I'm not trying to nullify or dumb down anything that he's done, but when you see a guy come in and just push their way on the field
without a ton of pressure, like, hey, you don't have to be the guy.
That's
when Pat Peterson shows up and they're like, "Hey, man, like we don't usually play freshmen."
That's when you excel.
And then you're just like, "Man, God, dog, he's the best one there." Yeah,
no doubt.
So
no doubt.
It'll be interesting to see.
Before we get to the Ask Mikey and Mitch segment, I do want to talk a little bit more about this. So I mentioned the Colorado game at 11 a.m.
Yeah.
Right. Obviously Deion's gonna have a lot of eyes on him. I think the 3.5. I think that they could win more than that. There's other interest in this game. They're playing TCU. Obviously, TCU had a magical run last year. Friend of the show, former St. Thomas More Cougar, is over there at TCU. And I'm anxious to see what he looks like on the field playing for TCU, and that's Jack Besh, right? I know we forget a lot about the guys who have transferred to different schools, but, Jack obviously, made an impact as a freshman. And last year, just
ran into some injuries early.
Yeah.
He couldn't get back onto the field.
So makes the decision to move
Yeah.
over there, right? And, I'd imagine that he's going to have a big say in that offense. So I'm looking. It's 11 a.m. game, right? Like there's really not any games on at 11 a.m. So like it's gonna have full attention of a lot of people. I'm anxious to see it.
Yep.
Right. Football, college football right now is like it is here now. Like it is. League Zero. I watched 2 seconds of the Notre Dame game until it was 35-0.
Hey, let me tell you what, too. The last couple mornings, waking up.
A little crisper,
and not insanely hot. It's not like I walked into an oven. I'm like, hey, wait.
Well, then it gets to be 11 o'clock and it's oven.
Yeah, it's fine, but
I'm
encouraged in the morning about what we're getting.
You get
so
that
far.
little bit of good feeling about that, which is nice. I love that. Excited about that. Do we think Colorado's gonna get over 3.5 wins this year?
I do. I'm gonna be honest
I do
with you,
too. I said they get 6 early. I don't know if I'm gonna get say 6, but
I think they're over 3. I think they're over 3. Yeah,
I think 5 is reasonable. Lloyd,
I'm looking at their schedule.
I mean, it's a tough one.
Loss, win, loss.
Give me a schedule. Who you got?
Oh, Colorado, TCU. That's a loss. Nebraska, Colorado will be sneaky. I think Nebraska with Matt Rule is going to be pretty good this year, and they don't have any pressure on them really either to win. But I could see Nebraska.
Who's their quarterback? They just got a transfer.
Nebraska?
Didn't they get a transfer quarterback from somewhere?
I don't know, but they just lost a tight end.
That's for sure. But
Nebraska.
he wasn't able to practice because he never had a waiver.
I don't know.
Maybe not. Okay, keep going on the schedule.
It's not Martinez?
Huh? Is it still Martinez?
No, it can't be.
Jeff Sims.
Oh, never mind. I was joking.
What's the rest of that schedule? What we got?
Yeah. So Colorado State, Colorado, you got to give them a toss-up there, right? Colorado feels like they could win that game at home, 9 p.m. Colorado, Oregon, loss. USC, Colorado, loss. Colorado, Arizona State, I would actually say Colorado maybe put up a fighting chance. See, Herm's not there anymore?
He's not there.
I know, but now he's back on TV.
Yeah, but he's been gone for
on TV for the last year.
I know. That's what's crazy is I didn't know where he went, but he's been, like, preaching about NIL and what to do. Like, you got fired for trying to hide recruits in the clubhouse. Like, I don't really trust you, Herm. Anyway.
He got his job back. It's old job.
Old job. I mean, he can't stay away from the television. The man loves the monitor.
Loves
Stanford, Colorado. We'll see what they look like at that point in the year to where you can decide. Colorado, UCLA, it feels like UCLA. Oregon State, Colorado.
Oregon State's good this year. They have DJ Uiagalelei over there as a quarterback.
Playing baseball. Arizona, Colorado, Washington State, and then Colorado, Utah. So I could see 5 wins there. Absolutely. I think 3.5 is kind of low.
I mean, that's a tough schedule. It's all Division I. I mean, that's for them. That's a tough schedule.
Yeah, but I
wouldn't be so sure about the TCU deal. First game of the season.
I don't think Colorado is going to be anywhere near a playoff picture at the end of the year.
No.
But they'll be in games.
I won't be surprised if they're right at.
This is strictly betting conversation.
Right below the 500 mark.
Yeah,
won't be surprised one bit.
That's what I'm saying. 3.5 is low. You can find a 4th win on that.
And let's be honest too. Like if we're telling the truth, when you won 2 last year, a 4 to 5 game jump the very next year.
It's
a huge jump.
Yeah,
that's a huge jump.
Absolutely.
So it'll be interesting, but I think it's an over.
Do we have any questions in there?
Oh yes, why is Renato wearing short shorts?
What's that?
Why is Renato wearing shorty shorts? We got the answer because he's hot.
Okay.
Ask Eminem how much for Jared to suit up for one play.
One play?
Mm-hmm.
Free.
$3.
What you mean?
One drive.
$3. How much money for Jared to go over the middle against Alabama on a
3rd and 8?
Free. What do you mean? I'm in, Coach. Free.
I guess there's no reason for you to be like you're not gonna get hurt. If it was me,
now if you sat here and said, "Hey, how much for a 17 play drive?" Oof, let's think about it. I don't know if I want.
How much for Jared to run down kickoff,
punt return?
Ooh,
no fair catches.
Punt return, no fair catch.
Let's go, baby.
Jump in a block for me. Let it hit the ground.
I'm moving it off.
Pretty much everyone that just gets free.
Yeah,
right now I got at least one drive in me. I got one drive in me. I don't know about it.
Yeah. As long as you're not running, hey, we're gonna do.
Don't ask me to run 6 go routes in a row.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
No, Coach, I'm going.
No huddle, fast pace. Hey, hurry up and get back. First play, I'm out. Come take me out.
All right, here we go. Ask Eminem who leads LSU in rushing, not named Jaden Daniels.
Oh, I like that.
This year, wow.
No, I think they're just going Florida State.
Oh, is it just for the game?
We can do both.
Okay, I think Logan Diggs leads them in yards
all year.
For the game or the year?
All year. And the game.
God damn. Well,
That was your
all
game
right.
too?
Yeah, I was gonna say that, but I'm gonna go. Jaden Daniels this game, and then I'm gonna go Logan Diggs for the year.
Okay.
Not named Daniels.
Not named Daniels.
Yeah.
Shirking it.
I mean, Noah Kane. I can see Noah Kane taking getting if he gets hot early, like hey, you get a couple carries and he just starts churning out some yards. I can see him leading the team in rushing yards this game.
Whoever's got the most carries in the backfield. That is one thing they did last year. Last year they did run for more than Florida State did.
But that was all from your quarterback.
It was, but
No
my
doubt.
point to it is that a offensive line with more continuity, a quarterback in his second year in the system, an O coordinator with a second year in the system. If they were able to do that last year, I would imagine, hey, they're able maybe to impose that will a little bit more and kind of still run.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised to see him running well.
Yeah, I agree with your Diggs take for game one. I think Josh Williams comes back and gets that job just for how much they trust him, and I think he kind of has earned that right from what he did last year, that if he does get healthy in the proper amount of time, they're not going to just say, hey, you lost your job. Sorry.
Unless somebody else
breaks out. I mean, wild card would be Caleb Jackson, the freshman.
Well, no, if any of the running back is like, okay, this guy is churning out yards, he's picking up blitz packages, he understands pass protection, but he's also very reliable. Like, they say, oh, you're never supposed to lose your job due to injury, but I mean, that is the reality of it sometimes.
It is. And since you went Diggs for game one, I'll go Trey Bradford.
Ooh.
A little off he might bust one.
Ooh, that's a trick. Could happen.
Could happen.
How much is he going to play is a question.
That's what I'm saying. He'd go 5 carries, though, and you take 140.
5 carries, 70 yards.
Yeah. Great. That would be better than last year, where I think it was your second leading rusher was Noah Kane with 7 carries for 25 yards.
Yeah, not good.
Not great, Bob. Sticking with LSU football.
Good.
Who on defense? Landon Lewis, shout out. Who on defense has a breakout game that no one is talking about?
Who on defense is what?
Has a breakout game that no one is talking about? Florida State.
Let's go with, for Florida State or against Florida State?
Oh, against Florida State. LSU player that has the breakout game against Florida State. That
I'm going right to our middle linebacker. We haven't heard much about him. I think you're going to kind of get introduced to him, and I think he's going to show up in a big way. The guy's played a lot of football in his past, and I think there's a reason why they looked at him and brought him here and why he is going to be featured in the middle of that defense.
Who do you think, Lloyd?
I don't know if this is that we haven't been talking about him, but it feels like we haven't been talking about him enough just because of the pressure that LSU's been able to put on the quarterback. But now with Mason Smith out, Mekhi Wingo stepping in, I think Savion Jones has a breakout game coming off the edge where you're going to have to need it now.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. I was going to go Spates, but you took him, so I'll take another one.
I mean, Sage Ryan, after hearing the tight end that they're doing.
Yeah, I think but people have been talking about Sage.
Denver Harris to do it.
Somebody in our secondary is going to have a big game, and I want to say, like someone outside who we're talking about, Ron Brooks.
I wish. Greg Brooks.
I mean, Greg Brooks.
I say Ron's
Greg
back?
Ron
How much for one from Ron?
I say, wait a second.
Ron was here when I was here. Greg Brooks.
Did he just get signed?
I can see Greg Brooks doing something. And look, he may not have this game where it's like, damn, he has 12 tackles, but like, I think he's gonna make a big play or two, and it's gonna like change the momentum of the game. What do you think? You like that? Hate that? Love that?
Oh yeah, I would love to see a play.
You said Ron Brooks. I mean,
Ron
Brooks
would be
is very
great.
good.
I was like, wait, Ron Brooks? Well, you got another one?
Hey, he did break out in the first game against wasn't it Oregon? Didn't he make a play? Yeah.
Ron made a lot of plays all these years.
I know, and he wasn't even playing a lot.
Ron made a lot of plays.
He's good, man.
He's one of my favorites. One of the few times I actually got nervous meeting somebody. I was like, I hope
one
he's
of the
cool.
fastest
human beings,
most like physical. I'm pretty sure Ron couldn't come within 8 inches of touching his toes but he could run.
They just spring loaded, coach.
Flexible.
Yeah.
He knows it too. He wasn't flexible at all.
Ron Brooks, Greg Brooks.
Greg Brooks.
Go ahead.
Let's see. They're giving there. Oh, my man Mitch is hella smart.
Do we have any on Twitter? Probably not.
No.
Oh no.
Okay, nice.
Watch out.
Watch out.
Ask
CJ.
him and him. Who cooks the most at your home?
Who said that?
Fonzarelli. Who cooks the most at home?
Yo, hold on. Answer this one first, right? Who cooks the most? I do. I am the cook. I love to cook. I enjoy cooking.
What's for dinner?
My wife's had dinner with some friends, so I am eating leftovers at my house. I did.
My wife's a cooker.
Your she can cook?
Yeah, she does cooking.
Okay. Love that. Lloyd doesn't cook, so.
Yes, I do. cook the same thing every time, but
What do you cook?
a grilled chicken,
How often?
probably 5 times a week. I have it for dinner all the time.
This man say probably 5 times.
It's
Put anything
easy.
on it?
No, same
Yeah,
style.
marinate it.
With what?
I mean, no free ads, but Stubbs has a good little marinade that's made for chicken. So I put it in a box, put the marinade on it, put some spices in there, shake it up real good.
What do? Do you put
Put it
on
in the
the
fridge.
grill? Do you put it in the oven? Do you put it on the stove? How do
I
you
go
cook it?
skillet.
So you put it over the stove.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or if I'm feeling real froggy, I'll
Ziploc
just
bag.
pop it. Yeah. Put it in the air fryer,
Ooh,
which is
never
super
done
super easy. Yeah, and it's good every time. Can't fuck it up.
What were the questions in the on Twitter?
I have
Oh, you got them in there?
yeah. Does LSU have more than 400 yards on total offense for the first game of the year?
Yes.
And who scores the first touchdown?
I think LSU does get over 400 yards of offense. First touch. I'm letting everybody else go first. I'm going first this time, so you don't take my people.
Jaden Daniels.
Nope. I think Malik Neighbors.
I knew he was going to do it. I knew he was going to do it. Oh, shit. All right, I'm going yes, over 400 yards of offense, and I'm going to say welcome to Baton Rouge, Aaron Anderson.
Ooh, I would love to see that.
Speed sweep or something like
Punt return? Yeah.
Ooh, what if he was a punt return for a touchdown?
That would change the narrative pretty quickly. Oh, they're gonna.
It's over. If he does that, it's over.
They're gonna get kicked out.
It's over. I love
Go
that.
find something to do.
That's what you. Who do you think?
I think it's gonna be Jaden Daniels, like a rushing touchdown. I think that's just such an easy option. If it's not him, I'll go Mason Taylor on that little. He loves him in the red zone.
I also think
That's going to be a very, very good connection in the red zone this year.
I also
Year two.
think that Noah Kane has a shot to do it. Get on the goal line, plunge it in there. Huh?
Bully it in.
Yeah. Just like that.
But he lost some weight this year. He wants to be a future back. Shows more than just a bruiser.
Good.
We'll see.
Ask Mike and Mitch, do you let your spouse drive on long trips?
Nah, coach.
I would love her to. She does not.
gonna happen.
I do it. But then I am driving, and I am getting a lot
Wee-wooed?
in my ear as I'm driving.
There's a for me. I'll tell you this too. For me, driving.
Do you
on a
try to
long-
like put on a podcast? I'm sorry, or are you just like I'm stuck?
Nah, podcast. Yeah.
You put podcasts on?
Yeah.
Not me. We put music on. She
I usually go
controls the
music, but music usually kind of puts me to sleep a little bit. So I'm like,
Well, yeah, that's
Well,
dangerous for you to drive.
dangerous. I know.
Here's what
I'm
happens.
aware.
I let her control the music.
What a way to get out of it.
That's
aware.
tough.
I would fall asleep.
Jay's putting his head out the window like a dog trying to keep himself
I'm over
up.
here banging like, yeah, wake up.
I'm not. I'm just listening to the music.
She'll play music and then she'll pass out and then I'll put a podcast on. That's
Yeah.
kind of how that works.
Because if you don't want to talk in the
We're
car,
about to find out on Friday.
Yeah, I think that's why they asked the question.
Okay.
If you don't want to talk, I think a podcast is a good way around it. Where you're like, I'm listening to this. And
Yeah.
Like, maybe I want you to listen too.
We'll stop and break it down like we're in class, though. You know, like
Yeah, that's what we
kind
do.
of how we roll.
Yeah,
too.
but she doesn't like some of the podcasts that I want to listen to probably on the road. She doesn't want to.
we always try to find some kind of murder.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's always a good one.
Gets you locked in.
Yeah.
God, I forgot what happened. Oh, this had us talking the entire. I just got back from Florida, but the question on the podcast was, this woman has been married to this man for 10 years. She gets 6 months to live. She has cancer, and he's been taking care of her this whole time. At the end of it, she asked him, hey, I want to have sex with my ex-boyfriend for the last time because he was the one that I really enjoyed having sex with. And she asked her husband this, and he was like, no, dog, I'm good. Like, I'm leaving. You can go do whatever you want. And so now you don't have anybody to take care of you during your last 6 months. Like, even the question is preposterous.
Wow.
And the way that she laid it out.
The real question is, how did you stumble on that one?
It was on a podcast that we were listening to.
Wow, that's a bold. I mean,
she's about to die. She didn't care.
guess you're right.
YOLO.
What if she had a miracle recovery? That's be awkward.
Well, what about the guy that, yeah. Actually, I've been lying to you. You don't have cancer.
Just, you know what? I actually read the wrong stuff.
Oh,
just joking.
This is room 102. I'm sorry.
Then at that point, he stays with her because then you sue for malpractice and you win get a bunch of
she's
money.
got
Now
confused
we're
between
good.
negative and positive.
Now we're good. What?
Comes back negative. You're like,
Yeah.
I thought that was
Yeah,
bad.
I thought that was a bad thing. But that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. You can't have sex with him.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
That's a
And think about the ex-boyfriend that doesn't even know that he's been on this podcast and been talked about. It's like, I don't even want to do it.
Oh,
I mean, he's got cancer.
He knows.
What if it's contagious?
What?
Jesus. Next question. Is there any other ones? Or was that the last one we're going to end on? Huh?
The driving one.
If there's none, that's a good one to end on, I guess.
Yes, that's it.
All right.
Oh, do the fans celebrate if LSU catches the first punt of the season?
No, hopefully not.
I hope not, because it's
dead and buried, dead and gone.
I hope not.
They did when Greg Clayton caught it against.
Yeah, but that was in the middle of the whole thing. So
Please no.
What a hero!
Please don't.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Oh, ask him and him.
Okay.
How many muffed punts from Aaron Anderson this year? Over under 2.5.
On the year?
Oh, under.
2.
Under 2.5.
Just can't be this one.
No, just not this one. Not in a big moment.
Because I only bring it up because that's one of the things that Brian Kelly has said. Like nobody's very comfortable catching the ball, but he's had some bobbles. Greg Clayton has not. That's the only thing. He's just so good at catching it, but it's worth the risk.
Yeah. Huh? We'll see.
We'll see.
But I think under 2.
Yeah.
Under 2.
2.5. Under 2.5.
Maybe under 2.5.
There you go.
Yeah.
I still think it's under 2, but you know.
TCU favored by 20 against the Buffs. They don't have a quarter. I don't know who their quarterback is either.
Who?
TCU. Max ain't walking through that door.
It's the guy that won the job last year. That's why.
No, TCU.
Yeah. Yeah. Duggan was the guy that was the second guy.
Yeah.
He came in after he got
I
hurt.
thought you were saying he was back. He's like, no, he's a
Duggan
Charger.
wasn't supposed to be the quarterback.
The guy that won the job got hurt. Duggan takes over, becomes a Heisman finalist. I think it's obvious. I don't know.
Back to that guy?
Yeah.
I think I'd take Colorado. 20 points
20
a lot.
points? What? I don't know if I believe that one.
Oh, 20.5. I know. Sonny Styles is a great offense. Sonny Dykes.
Sonny Styles.
Sonny Styles. That's what we
Well,
call
he'll be
him.
buying points by the time Saturday morning.
Caesars is not letting me right now, and it's really getting
Because
my.
they see your account.
I think they saw how many times I won on these half-a-pointers instead of lost, and they're like, oh, not an option. So I got other. I mean, I'll take I'll take my money elsewhere.
They'll let you. They're just waiting for you to get nice and cocky and throw
You
some
got
big
other
money on it.
avenues.
Yeah.
I can't wait to put in. I cannot wait to get back on
Are
the
you going
betting train.
Utah? I mean, you got to bet Utah, Florida. First game of the year, Brent?
Yeah, what's the? I am. I gotta make sure I gotta get my app right. What's the line on that?
4.5.
Utah's obviously favored.
Is this at
Utah?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, but
but
they're
they don't
also
have the
not having
starter.
their starting.
The line
quarterback.
didn't move a lot after. I guess they never expected him to play, but once it became almost official, the line hasn't moved a lot. So I guess they had this baked into the line. Last year it was 2.5.
And it played to it.
Anthony Richardson tried to win the Heisman in one night.
Yep.
That was his night.
4.5. Quarterback is Graham Mertz, right?
For Florida?
For Florida.
And they scored like 17 points combined between both quarterbacks in their spring game. So that's not
Maybe
great.
their defense is really good.
I don't think that was the narrative coming out of Florida camp.
4.5. I'm gonna take Utah. I really wanted to take Florida really bad, but I'm forcing it in my head. I think I'm gonna take Utah. What's the over under?
Utah could use multiple backups.
What?
Yeah, give me the over under.
I'm going under on this game.
What's the over under?
I wanted to say it is. I was just looking at it, but it won't let me buy any points because I think it's 40.5.
Wow. You taking the under on that too?
If they're setting it that low.
Good God, that's low.
44.5.
Oh,
even better.
44.5.
Yeah.
Okay. I can believe that.
That's a whole possession.
No, I can believe that.
Could
I
be
take
two.
the under right there, and I'm gonna take Utah. Now, usually when I do this, it'll be Florida that wins, but that's what I would take on this one.
Yeah, 4.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the under too. On that.
So I'm taking the over.
Good.
Pull the room.
Good. Are you buying points?
They won't let me.
What are you taking? What are you gonna take?
No, I'll probably take the under at 44.5.
Oh, you're not gonna take the spread? You're not gonna take the line?
Oh,
Like
no, I'm
the
taking Utah. Also,
4.5.
I'll probably see if I can go money line and parlay it with the under.
Nice. That's a good one. Tell me what those odds are. Maybe do the same thing with you.
There we go.
And then I'll do the. You said over.
I know.
He changed his mind right there.
You literally just changed your mind. I didn't even catch it. until just now.
Sometimes you just talk really fast when you talk
Wow.
about gambling.
Okay. All right.
And then we'd be like, remember when the over hits? Like, remember when I took the over on the show?
Let's get to our seggies on this Ask Mikey and Mitch beautiful Wednesday night.
It is a beautiful Wednesday night.
So mistake of the day is brought to you by our friends at Dozy Place. We will be
y'all can't
frequenting
see it
Doze
again.
tomorrow.
Have y'all seen this video?
I can't see it. What is it? I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna pull it up on my computer.
Something that would
Oh, I saw it.
Unbelievable. Something that would never happen if you ate at Dozy Place.
Maybe.
It would never, because the quality's too good. Food's
yeah,
too
right,
good.
right.
You wouldn't get stuck with the bubble guts. This man did.
Tough.
And yeah, we've talked shit to this guy before.
What? We have?
Somebody.
Oh yeah. And now was he the guy who went off on and pooped?
Yeah.
So did he really shit himself, or he just had to go shit?
That's the debate. It looks like he couldn't stop it after it started. Like it wasn't just a little oops. Ooh.
Wow.
And then he said he had a leg cramp.
Oh.
But then the co-host tweeted they had Taco Bell.
He never
Yeah, he had a late night Taco Bell.
So I think they only completed
That's
like
a
3
tough
yards of
look.
RPO throws the whole time.
I mean,
So
That's a tough.
and he just left his co-host just stranded out
That
there.
is not where you want to be. Was this at the beginning of the show?
No, they're into it right now. Probably it feels like it's like a 30-minute spot.
That's
They've been
tough.
talking for a minute, but that is the face of a man that is I've shit my pants. Tries to squeeze out the little fart right there when he does this move to let
Well,
it
that's
breathe.
why you can't.
Don't trust
you
it.
gotta. You can't
don't
do
trust
that.
it.
You know.
Don't trust
Not
it.
at that age.
Plus, let's change our diet up a little bit.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, my Taco Bell years never really lasted.
I can't tell you the last time I've had Taco Bell. I'm not saying it's bad.
I mean, I never really had it, but there's people in college that were obsessed
Love it.
with it.
People love
it,
Taco Bell.
And then you would see the aftermath the next day where they're like,
You saw it?
I would want to see it. I don't know.
No, I'm saying the terror. I didn't physically go like
I see,
inspect.
you saw.
Yeah.
I feel bad for you. That's a tough house to live in.
Yeah, well, some of the fraternity houses, everybody's got to clean the bathroom. Some pledges have to do that. Not me.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and keep moving.
The worst, the girls' bathroom was worse than the men's bathroom.
Man, come on, man.
It was a scene.
Come on, man.
Next,
I'm not doing this with you.
in our segment,
I don't even know why you would. I'm not doing this with you right now. Let's keep
Curtain Call is brought to you by our friends at Assured Partners.
Yeah.
Me. For all your insurance needs, give us a call at Assured Partners. We do a lot of really good work commercially. Don't call me for your home and auto. Can't do it. I can refer you to people. I'm not gonna do it.
Got a team.
Got a team. Curtain calls. What you got?
I got a good one for you today.
Let's
with
go.
the NFL season on the horizon, college football coming, all that good stuff. October, the best football, best sports month coming up, all that good stuff.
Good stuff.
Right? The Lionel Messi madness is real right now. For one game, or I say a single ticket, Miami's playing LAFC. Single ticket cost right now for that game.
Is it in Miami or LA?
It's in LA. It's $556.
Ooh.
Comparatively, season tickets for the Rams this year, $838.
Wow.
Messi's real.
Messi's real. Listen,
Messi's-
all those people.
Messi's got the economy.
All those people
booming.
who bought the MLS package, he is saying thank you because he's got a cut.
stake
It's a
in it.
cut of
You
the
bought
Apple
him.
Podcast.
You bought him. There you go.
And he's earned it.
I'm gonna go ahead and give some love to Messi because he has
He's probably
come
loves
in and kind of
America.
taken it by storm. And I've heard some rumors that maybe it is staged. Anyway, we'll keep going.
Ooh, that's right up Lloyd's alley right there.
I have something to look into tonight.
He's gonna go down a rabbit hole tonight.
Yes, thank you.
What you got, Lloyd?
I was pulling yours up. I'm sorry. For curtain calls, mine goes to former LSU, Goffa.
Yes, it's a good one.
Sam Burns gets the last captain's pick for the U.S. Ryder Cup team, amongst much debate because there was a lot of people fighting for that spot. They thought this was a little bit kind of off the wall, but Sam Burns played well. He won the match play this year. A lot of the captain's picks people were a little shaking their head at with Ricky Fowler, Justin Thomas.
No, I love it.
I know, but some people are
No,
saying.
I know, but I love it. I think that they did a really good job of making these picks. I think they're going to be there's a ton of energy now right? These guys have been around it. Like I think that look,
I agree.
This is golf now, right? These guys are the face of golf. Like they have a lot of pride in golf, and this I'm all for it. I think it's great.
I don't dislike it. I can tell you.
Yeah, I mean, look, I know Justin Thomas has been struggling a little bit, but
yeah, put him back in that environment.
Exactly.
He's a
I think that's probably gonna be the best thing for him too.
Yeah, and you
I'm
team
all
him
for
up
it.
with Spieth again.
Koepka on there is fun.
No, they had to. Scotty Scheffler gave him the vote, and he was like, I guess, the pseudo captain because of how well he's played this year. And they asked him, like, do you think he should be allowed since he's on the Live Tour? He's like, if you look at Brooks's time in only majors that he's played in America, or like for the PGA, quote unquote, he's like, he's short 150 points to be an automatic qualifier, and he's played 4 matches. So yeah, I think we should take him.
Yeah,
he's
playing well.
Okay, he's in.
That's good. I think that's a good olive branch.
Yeah.
To the whole drama that has been Live Golf and PGA Tour. So
And
that's good.
Brooks had a killer Nike statue in his background, but it's not like the Nike check. It's like the goddess Nike that he had because they're going to Rome, so he's building it up, and he made sure it was in the shot. Pretty heady.
Yeah. Brooks knows what he's doing. He's good. I like it.
What you got, Coach?
All right, my curtain call is to
this guy again.
Mookie Betts. Well, I haven't given him one.
No, I'm just kidding.
But
keeps being good.
what he's done, I was trying to find I saw a better graphic than this, but the one he's gonna pull up still shows it. So Mookie Betts is probably gonna win the MVP, right? National League MVP. He's playing for the Dodgers.
He's at a great race right now.
Have you seen Mookie's numbers? Shits on Acuna's numbers.
Who got tackled in the outfield?
Mookie Betts has hit 452 in the month of August. He's got 36 home runs, which is a career high for him. He's going to end the season with over 40 home runs, and he's playing in L.A. He's obviously going to be in the postseason play. And look, I'm not saying he's the runaway favorite, but I think right now in Vegas, the Vegas odds have him as a minus, I think, 200 to win the MVP, MVP. So, I've got to play against Mookie Betts a lot, and you kind of forget about him because he does it so often and so consistently. He's out there in LA, you don't see him, but boy, 452 in 1 month.
Don't forget about him.
That's impressive.
Buddy.
He's got a great podcast too.
Buddy can play.
He's got a great podcast.
Yeah,
Did you see the story with you sent it to us with Kike?
The Kike Hernandez story?
Mm-hmm.
Great.
That was pretty good.
It's great.
Kike's double A
Never
manager.
heard that story before. Great.
Kike's double A manager thought he couldn't speak English for a month. And then Kike decided to drop the hammer on him after a terrible game.
After a terrible game and losing streak.
Yeah, Skip. Speak perfect English. I knew it.
No, you didn't.
You did, huh?
No, you didn't.
No, you didn't. Going through a translator the whole time? Great.
I've got a fantasy draft in 6 minutes.
Okay. Oh, look, so this guy. Hard out. Should I do what he does to me and just kind of filibuster this whole thing? Actually, he controls the show.
Let's keep running through it, so let's go ahead.
I did want to talk about this woman in the Chicago White Sox that they said she hid a gun under her fat. Did you see this story?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's unbelievable.
She got it in through her fat folds, and she denies it categorically, which I would deny too, no matter what I look like.
How does it not get – you go through metal detectors, though.
That's what they said. No.
Does fat cover that up?
But this is the story that's been reported on. Two sources say that this is what happened. I think something else happened, where it could be people that already have a gun there. Little desk pop.
Huh?
Policeman.
Tell you what, there's not very many people.
Do you see that guy that got hit by a home run that tried to shoot the ball? He pulled his gun out on it.
What the hell are you talking about?
He was
Where?
at Major League Baseball stadium. He was at
a cop?
Yeah. And it bounces and hits him, and he pulls his gun, goes for his gun. And he's like, "Oh, I can't do that." And he kicked the ball. He just got frustrated.
No, I didn't see it.
Didn't see that. Tell you what, there's not many people that go to the White Sox games right now. They're not very good.
No. But if
I was
you
there.
Go,
I sat out in the hot sun for about 5 innings, and it was brutal. And they ended up winning in extra innings, actually.
Tough.
Yeah,
Did you stay the whole time?
Tough. Nope.
Good.
All right.
I remember that time.
And you know what, Jared? That's Mardi Gras. Fuck it. All right. We appreciate you. We love you. We appreciate all the support. Lloyd's got a fancy football draft, so we're going to end 4 minutes early, which we're going to end anyway. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Press the thumbs up button. It really does a lot of good for us. If you like our show and you have friends that have not seen it or like it, go ahead, send it to them. Let them like it and subscribe to it, right? If you don't like watching us or you can't watch us, we're anywhere you get your pods.
Great for the long drive.
Great for a long drive. If you're going to the beach this weekend or you're going to Orlando for the game, Great time to catch up.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
great
get
time
two
to
of
catch
them.
up. If you're going to leave on Friday, we're going to have a live show here Friday from 1 to 3 p.m. here at Cars and Culture. If you're here in Baton Rouge, come on, stop by, shop around here. Also, we're going to have some drinks for you, ice down, some Heineken Silver on ice. Come out and drink with us. Come hang out with us. We will be back here live on Friday. So we appreciate you. We love you. Have a
We're
great
working
rest of the
Monday.
night. Enjoy college football tomorrow. Peace.
Peace.